All right, we are here. I know we're going to have a lot of team replays on this piece, but happy Friday, everybody. Hope everybody had a great week, very productive week, I would hope. And I'm excited. I've been excited to hop on here and do this. I went back digging through the archives of the group and realized that I had not done one of these for you guys in probably almost a year. And for that, I apologize. It's something that I deeply and really just trying to provide some value to you guys. The amazing, awesome, incredible, growing community of a seven-figure Medicare agent, right? So, first off, guys, hope you guys had a great week. Do me a favor, drop some wins for me in the comment section of the live. What went well this week in your business? I want to hear about it. I want to hear about some wins. I want to hear about some successes. I can kind of tell you a little bit what happened in our world. Man, I mean, there's so many things going on between, bringing on agents into our new LOA internal agent program, hiring, people internally into the office, getting kind of prepared for them to start in the next couple of weeks, getting ready for AEP, getting ready for different types of marketing that we're doing, things on the lead heroes side, lead freaking heroes, you guys, tried and true lead source for AEP, things on the virtual assistant side, right? Getting new virtual assistants plugged into our operation in the office, getting new virtual assistants trained up. There were some awesome things that happened this week. We made some incredible progress. I can't say too much about it right now, but we made some incredible progress on buying a local book of business with an agency owner that we're that I'm extremely friendly with for many years. One of my early mentors. We made some great progress on that this week. Super excited about kind of where that's going to take us. And so, a lot going on. Definitely a lot going on. But it definitely felt like a week where the needle was moved, right? And those weeks are always the best feeling. It just kind of reminds you of why you're doing all this. I have conversations often with my partner in crime, Glenn Shelton, and one thing that we talk about often is days that you have a feeling that you just didn't get anything done that moved the needle, and those days are deflating. So when you have days, and even period of multiple weeks, to where you really feel like you move the needle forward, that's the best, right? There really is no better feeling than that. Gonna go through some of your guys' comments on your wins. I love it. I love to hear about it. Keep them coming. Want to hear about your guys' wins this week. And also in the meantime, as promised, the purpose of this live stream is to spend some time going through any challenges that you guys are facing right now in your business. So please do me a favor and drop those down in the chat, all right? And I will spend some time personally tonight making sure that I'm going to unpack any issue that you're dealing with in your business to try to really provide some value and hopefully provide some real practical solutions for you. That's the purpose of this. So make sure to drop your wins, but also drop any challenges you're running into right now, and we'll kind of spend some time unpacking them. So in the meantime, let's kind of hear about some wins. AHIP, 100% on AHIP. Well, that's great, Jim. Love to hear it. Can't sell without that. So good to hear it. Helped a lovely couple save $4,407 today. That is from Mr. Sawyer. That is awesome, bro. That is terrific. One of my favorite feelings in the world when you can literally take somebody's savings and take it down into the thousands every year. That's the best. Just got a T65 enrollment from Mr. Michael Antoine. Just got a T65 enrollment from a referral and got my own office space. That's awesome, dude. That is freaking awesome. Michael, if you want anything that you need, shoot me an email or shoot somebody on my team an email. I'd love to hop on a call if you need it, of course. I don't want to bug you if you don't need anything, but that's awesome to hear, dude. That is super, super exciting. Congratulations on that. Chris Bell, good evening. Hey, Chris, my good friend Chris Bell. Good to see you. Dialed in some good marketing pieces from Dalton Thomas. That's awesome, dude. Love to hear that. That is absolutely fantastic. Franco, thank you for being on. All right. All right, questions coming in, guys. So, yeah, like I said, drop your questions in the chat. Let's spend some time and unpack anything and everything that you might be struggling with in your business. My goal on this stream tonight is to sacrifice my Friday night to bring value to you guys. If you guys are new to the community and you've never actually seen me do one of these before, you probably be surprised that no matter how many questions you guys drop, I will stay until we answer every single question on the stream. I don't care how long it takes. So, guys, tonight, as many questions as you throw at me, we will make sure that we answer each and every single one of them, unpack them, and give a very thorough, detailed, and thoughtful answer. Super excited about that. All right, so let's jump into our first question of the evening from Dalton. If you could give a 30,000 foot overview, what would, sorry guys, for some reason my screen keeps shuffling down from the comment I'm reading, kind of annoying. If you give a 30,000 foot overview of what order would you go in if your goal was to grow a large successful agency? This could be an hour answer in and of itself, but I love it. I love it. Gets my juices pumping a little bit, because that's a great question, and I think it's a very multifaceted answer. Example: learning, marketing, hiring assistant, bringing on independents / LOAs, bringing on staff for contracting, social media, etc. I know I didn't want to make this any longer than it already is. Thanks. Yeah. Thank you for the question, brother. Yeah, so let's start with that, right? Let's give this question a real good amount of focus, okay? If you guys are just joining the stream, this is a Q&A where I will answer any question that I am capable of answering. Anything that's in my area of expertise, I will take some time and unpack it for you. So drop as many comments as you want, questions in the chat. I make the commitment to you guys every time I do one of these, as rare as it is, that I will answer every single question before we jump off tonight. I don't care how late we go, okay? I'm built for this shit. So, okay, question there, Dalton. So the question, for those of you that just joined in, if you could give a 30,000 foot overview, what would you do in terms of growing a large successful agency, right? So let's kind of start from the beginning. Let's say I'm somebody that just came into the business, okay? I'm brand new, and I'm really only taking it so far back to the intro because I want to make sure that anybody that's watching this that's a newbie doesn't feel like I'm skipping over where they might be at their journey, okay? So if any of you are watching this and you're farther along than this, be patient. My answer is going to get to where we're at, all right? But if I'm just getting started, knowing what I know today, and let's just say I know what I know today from the standpoint of what I should be doing, but maybe I don't know product knowledge, Medicare knowledge, marketing knowledge, etc. But I could maybe give myself a blueprint that I had to follow, that I could hand back to my unexperienced self. This is the way it would go. So assuming I'm brand new, and it's going to sound a little bit cliche to kind of start off here, but the best thing you can do to start off is find what you want to do, right? Okay, so let's take this back, right? Getting started on building an agency, the first step, truthfully, is finding a mentor who has the business that you would like to build, or a similar business that you would like to build. That is imperative. It's so often that I see people pick mentors that are going to take them places that they don't want to go. And a lot of you seasoned veterans probably can identify with this, and you can probably experience seeing this yourself, right? Like, you see situations where somebody will pick a mentor, and truthfully put, they just don't have the business that they might want, right? Like, let's say someone wants to be a big-time producer, but they pick a mentor who's never produced. Or maybe somebody wants to build a large LOA shop, and they pick somebody that doesn't have any LOAs. Or maybe they want, to make $1 million a year, and they work with somebody who's making $75,000 a year, right? So identify what it is you want your business to look like and what those ultimate goals are, and then pick a mentor accordingly, right? That is incredibly important for your first step. The second step is to soak up everything that mentor is going to teach you, but also soak up everything you can learn about Medicare, right? Learn everything you can about Medicare, the products you're offering, the carriers that you're working with. You want to become a wealth of knowledge at the beginning, okay? Now, when I say this, sometimes people take the impression that I mean spend all day, every day researching Medicare and researching plan options and everything like that. That's not what I mean. When I got started as a new agent, what I did was I would prospect my first 12 hours of the day, and then when I came home, when I'm at home, let's say watching TV with my wife, who back then, I was spending time reading booklets, reading summaries of benefits, reading everything I could, and making sure that I was constantly learning. But I wasn't spending my income producing hours on that. So when you first get started and nobody knows who you are, you need to get yourself out there. So you want to gain knowledge. You want to become a sponge. All of this is true. However, you want to spend activities, prospecting, getting people familiar with you, getting people to understand that you are the person that needs to be talked to about Medicare, right? And you do this a multitude of different ways. You prospect in the sense of, at first most people don't have any money. And that's the truth. Most people come into this business and they're like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to make all this money. And they really just don't have any funds to kind of fund them. And so most people have to get into this business where they're trading their time instead of their money because they don't have money to trade. To get in front of clients, it's either time or money. One of the two that you sacrifice to get in front of a client. So depending on where you're at, let's just assume you're the normal agent, you part with time, right? And a lot of times that's going to look like grassroots marketing, building referral plans, doing the community, hustling, grinding, pounding the pavement. Eventually, once you bring in some clients, maybe you start to buy leads. And there's a lot of different ways you can buy leads. Maybe you start to do seminars. Maybe you start to work with vendors that kind of start working with that. And then as time goes on, right, I believe there's a pathway for this, right? Because if you first come in and you're brand newly licensed and you're trying to learn everything you need to know as an agent to give a competent presentation and be able to not sound like a jive ass when you're talking to clients, you obviously cannot at the same time be studying marketing, be studying digital marketing, be studying Facebook ads. It's just too much. So I encourage to break it up one step at a time. Once you've really got a point where you have some money coming in, you have it down, you've done a ton of presentations, you've had a lot of sits, you've been in a lot of houses, you've done a lot of sales calls, whatever way you're actually prospecting, then I think it's a really good idea to invest some time, some energy, and some money to start learning how to market. Because long term in our industry, people that are going to be agency builders need to learn, absolutely need to learn how to market themselves. This is pivotal. And I think it's just going to get harder and harder and harder if you're an agent that doesn't know any type of marketing, if you're going to build your own business. Now, if for somebody that doesn't want to learn marketing, you probably are better off working for an agency that is proficient at marketing, because they can do that part for you and they can kind of cover that need. But if you're going to be an independent agent, it's getting more important than ever, and it's more important today than it's ever been to learn how to market. So, but I don't think you need to come in right from the get-go and learn how to do that. Like a lot of my friends in our industry that are proficient at marketing, a lot of times they'll recommend you try to hustle and grind to make six figures in order to, before you can ever actually start focusing on marketing and actually getting anywhere with it, right? If you're brand new, you just got your license, it's just way above your head. It's putting the cart before the horse, in my opinion. And so, not only is it premature, it's probably just trying to be all over the place, in my opinion. So then the next step, right? It was a very broad question that you asked, but I want to make sure that I answer it for you. If you're trying to get to a place where you're scaling, there's three things you need to focus on once you really start to build multiple six figures. One, the value of your time. What is your time worth? What does an hour of your time cost you? for all the time that you waste on tasks that you can automate, eliminate, or delegate, right? And that's what real business owners really focus on once they start to grow, and it's not easy. If it was easy, everyone would do it. And part of that comes down to not trying to wear every hat. At the beginning, you have to wear every single hat in order to really kind of get your feet off the ground. You have to wear 15 different hats as an agent. You have to be sales, you have to be marketing, you have to be accounting, you have to be customer service, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But when you get to a point where you're making 100 grand a year, 150 grand a year, 200 grand a year, 250 grand a year, 300 grand a year, what's going to prevent you from growing past that point is how much time you have available or lack. And so you need to be willing to spend money and bring people on to help you. You need to be willing to put trust into people, right? A lot of agents, I talk to them all the time, and they're afraid to hand over any type of responsibility to people because they're worried. They're like, oh, my clients will only talk to me. My clients will only talk to me. They won't talk to anyone else. Oh no. But in time, you can train your clients to be willing to talk to other people. And truthfully told, if you are mixed up and you're trying to do things in your business on a day-to-day, well, the truth of the matter is you're going to be doing all those different things on a mediocre level because you're pulled in so many different directions, right? You're all over the place. And so it's better to have somebody that you bring in that comes onto your team that they can solely focus on that because they're going to be able to know it and ultimately learn it in a way that's more proficient and efficient than you ever could have done it trying to do it as a sixth thing on your plate, right? And then, of course, using technology to eliminate tasks, automation, AI, all these different things, and that's really where you get to a point where you can scale. Also, in scaling, it's not just about hiring. It's not just about automation. It's about getting your processes down so good that you can predict exactly what you'll have to spend to acquire a new client. They call that cost per acquisition. So when you get your cost per acquisition to a point where I can accurately $250, $300, $350, whatever that number may be, to acquire a new client, then okay, my process can accomplish this. But there's only so many hours in the day where I can actually do this myself as the selling agent. So then I start bringing on help. I start bringing on agents to kind of work with me. I give them a career. I give them an opportunity where they can make a lot of money. They can grow within my organization. And, you're off to the races. It's essentially like you have your systems and processes down so good and so vitally that it's the same thing as turning on a faucet and it's predictable, just like you can predict water will come out. From that standpoint. So that's really how you do it. Long-winded answer. Sorry for the first question, but I hope it's for you guys. All right, there's a lot of questions coming in here, so I'm going to try to go in order. Appreciate you guys being on. Appreciate your questions. Keep them coming. As I mentioned earlier, I will answer every single question you guys ask, no matter how long it takes. I commit to doing that every time I do these live Q&As, and to be truthful, I don't do them extremely often, and that's why I really want to make sure that this is a jam-packed, value-filled experience for you guys. So hope that question was hope that answer to that question was good, Dalton. All right, so when are 2025 sneak peeks expected? Well, there's some carriers that have them out now. So it just kind of depends on the carrier. There's some carriers that have them available now. Not very many. There's a couple, and I don't want to say names because this group is so big. There's people with carriers all over the place. I don't want to get myself in trouble by saying a carrier name. But there are a couple that are out now. In August, some will probably come out, over the course of until September. We're in a weird year, where a lot of carriers are kind of pushing things out to the last second, and they're really procrastinating on doing their first looks until they absolutely have to. So it's a tough question to answer. It's going to depend on the carrier, and some of them I don't think anybody knows except for the internal people at the carriers themselves, but some are available now. Awesome, Michael. Sounds good, bro. Hi, Jamie. First AEP being independent, what is the number one thing I should focus on prior to AEP? It means you don't have a large clientele built up yet. So the first and number one most important thing you should be focused on is if you have some clients try to retain them as quickly as possible and get their plan reviews done as quickly as possible. I'm talking first week of October. That's what you have going for you if that is the case and you don't have a big client base. You don't have to focus as much time on retention. So what you should be doing right now is in your business. What is your budget to market your business? Have you thought about that? What is, what type of ways do you want to do business? Are you face-to-face? Are you telephonic? How do you want to do business? And then make sure that you are putting things in motion to make sure that you have tons of activity to see a lot of people. AEP, the people that win the most in AEP are the people that talk to the most people that are prospective customers. That's the game, right? So maybe you're trying to do health markets or fairs or expos or anything like that. Be looking to schedule those now. As many of them as possible. Make sure that you have leads lined up. If you're doing, like, let's say direct mail, for example, with a lot of companies, I'm not saying you should do direct mail, I'm just using that as an example. In August to the beginning of September, a lot of these big direct mail shops, they get full in a particular state where there's enough people that have pre-ordered that there's no one left to mail in the state. So you should be booking orders and reserving things, maybe not paying for them all right now, but at least reserving them, putting down a deposit or a down payment or anything like that, just making sure that everything's in order. But client acquisition needs to be your primary focus, and making sure that you have given yourself an opportunity to have the most conversations during AEP. That's how you're going to win if it's your first AEP. What are your do's and don'ts for hiring non-licensed staff to man marketing tables in the community? Non-licensed staff to man marketing tables. It's a very interesting question. I mean, ideally, I'd prefer them to be licensed, because not only are they able to probably speak about things in a more proficient manner because they're licensed, but they actually could actually meet, schedule an appointment with a prospective member and actually meet with them, and it's the same person that they had a connection with. But if you're talking about non-licensed staff to man marketing tables, I want people that are smart. I want people that are sharp. I want people that are good communicators. I want people that are coachable. I want people that are going to allow me to teach them what they need to be able to say at these marketing tables. And so really just, people that type of role specifically, you probably don't want somebody that's too passive. But at the same time, you don't want anybody that's too, asshole type A personality either. You want a good mixture with someone that I would call has a very good personality. They're outgoing, but they're not overwhelming or overbearing, would be what I would say. And of course, I think you want people that are smart, that can learn what they need to know. They need to have a good enough knowledge of Medicare to be able to talk about it proficiently at that marketing table. They're representing you. Remember that. If they're at a marketing table with your logo, your brand, they're representing you at the end of the day. So they can either make you look really good or they can make you look very bad. It's just going to kind of depend. But that's what I would think in terms of marketing tables. Are you still hiring for LOAs? Tell us about your program. Yeah, I mean, I don't want this stream to turn into a big sales pitch. I'll tell you a little bit. It's commission only. There's no base on our remote LOA program. We're providing everything. So we're providing daily exclusive real-time Lead Hero leads. A lot of them at that. Probably $6,000 to $8,000 retail a month of leads. We're providing CRM, we're providing phone system, we're providing AHIP, license costs, providing everything they're going to need to do business. We're also servicing the clients and the policies as well. So our customer service team is taking care of all of the service work, whether it be claims, whether it be answering questions, whether it be ordering a new ID card, etc. And so it's essentially a model where if an agent gets that seat, they can plug in, sell, make a lot of money. We'll pay renewals while they're with our organization. So it's super lucrative. But that's just a little bit. Don't want to spend too much time on that because it's not what this stream is for. But anyway, trying to properly set up my business the right way. I learned at the summit we should structure as an agency. After you get your agency in your home state, what are the next steps? Okay, so once you get your agency incorporated in your home state, The next steps are getting it licensed with the DOI, the Department of Insurance in your state. Once you get it licensed, then the next step is to get it contracted with all of the carriers that you possess. Then the next step is to connect you with your agency. The ideal way to do it is to make yourself LOA to your corporation. And sometimes people cringe when I say that. You're making yourself LOA to yourself. Think about it that way. You own your corporation in full. So you make yourself LOA to your corporation, and then and the reason for that is because the whole purpose of getting set up as a business, as a corporation, is for tax advantages and legacy planning. So all of the commissions to your corporation, they flow through your corporation, so all revenue flows through your corp. And that's would be the steps to do it. So to just kind of review, 1, get your corp set up in your state. 2, get it licensed in all the states you want to do business with. 3, get it licensed. And 4, get your individual contracts connected to where you're going to be LOA, and all past, present, and future commissions flow through your corporation. And Michael, with that, our contracting department can help you with that. So just let us know, keep us posted on what's going on with that. We can help get that all set up for you. It's essentially like contracting a new agent, contracting your corp. Think about it that way, because it has a separate NPN. It's treated as a different entity than you as an individual. But the main purpose is just changing the structure, so that way your commissions pay through the corp and the tax ID instead of your personal social security number. You're taxed differently. So hope that answers that question. We can help with that, by the way, Michael, because you're with us. Same, my first AEP as I am independent. What will your suggestion for success? I'm looking for 100 apps. So here's what I would say, right? Let's say you have a 20% close ratio on leads. And before any of you go, oh, 20%, I have 90%. I'm not talking about referrals. Referrals are not leads in my book. So and referrals are not possible to predict. Right? So you can't just depend on referrals. Referrals are great. They'll get you part of the way there if you're getting any at all. But let's say you're just focused on leads. This is a way to think about it, right? If you are in a situation where you're trying to get around 100 apps, and let's say you close 20% of leads, it's a numbers game, right? So in that circumstance, you need 500 leads. If you're going to close at a 20% close ratio, and some people would be like, if the leads are any good, I'd close more. No matter what type of lead it is, if it's a lead that you're making outbound calls to, it could be direct Facebook lead, could be a telemarketed lead, most agents are going to close about 15%. And that's because it's harder to get people on the phone today than it's ever been, because there's so much telemarketing, so many solicitation laws. People are encouraged by the government not to answer their phones oftentimes. There's a lot of things working against you. You have to work a lot harder to get people on the phone. So your contact rate has everything to do with your close rate, to be truthful. But if an average agent will close 15%, a mediocre agent will close 10% or less, and a really leads, like actual leads, will close 20% or more. So look at it from the standpoint on that you need 500 leads. If you have 500 leads, you think you can close 20%, you're at 100 apps. If you don't think you can close 20%, maybe you can close an average of 15%, you need more leads. So do the math. Do the math. Make sure you have enough leads to get you to your goal. If you have 100 leads or 150 leads, it's not enough. You're not going to get there. It's all about lead flow and having enough people to talk to. My biggest struggle is marketing and lead generation. I run everything primarily off of referrals. Would you first recommend hiring a marketing/advertising squad to bring in an overwhelming amount of business, then work on bringing on multiple agents? No, I actually wouldn't on that. Because if you're relatively inexperienced when it comes to marketing and you hire a marketer, it's much easier for that marketer to take advantage of you. You always hear horror stories of people spend, multiple 5 figures or maybe more on, different kind of SEO things or, lead generation or, some crazy fancy website, etc. And the reason why those people get taken advantage of and they don't get much return on investment is because they're naive to marketing themselves, feeding them, and then they also didn't know enough to be able to vet that marketer out and see if they're actually legit. Instead of hiring somebody to do the marketing for you, is learn how to market. If you're trying to do, let's say, Facebook ads, learn how to do Facebook ads. If you're trying to learn how to do Google ads, YouTube ads, Bing ads, learn how to do that. There's tons of free resources online. There's courses. There's all kinds of ways you can learn this. You can pay people that are proficient to teach you how to do this stuff. If you're trying to learn how to do seminars, learn how to do seminars. Learn how to do your own marketing. Become a marketer, at least in some sense of the word, because then down the road when you're looking to scale and you're help for marketing and advertising, you're going to know enough to be able to spot bullshit. If someone's feeding you a line of bullshit, you're going to know. Anytime we work with any organization that does any type of marketing for us, and there's not oftentimes we do that because we're very proficient at marketing between myself, Glenn, other people on our team. But when we do, in certain circumstances, we can spot those who know their stuff and those who don't. And that's because we've gone through the steps of learning marketing. So the best thing you can do for yourself is to learn how to do the marketing yourself, because then when you hire down the road, when you want to find someone that can do it even better than you can, you're going to know exactly what to look for. And then when you yourself can handle, that's the time when to bring on agents. The time to bring on more agents is not when you're trying. The time to bring on more agents is when you have more leads than you can handle. So see how that works? Again, it's another situation of putting the cart before the horse. If you're trying to bring on agents before you have leads, there's nothing for the agents to do. They're just sitting there. Tons of lead flow coming in. You're getting buried and overwhelmed in the demand. That's the time to bring on agents. So I hope that helps on that perspective. All right. Awesome. Thank you guys for clarifying that you can hear me okay. Mentors you recommend. That's an interesting question. So I guess it depends if you're talking insurance or not insurance. I have several mentors myself that are in the insurance industry, and then I have mentors that are outside of the insurance industry. I think there's value to be had in having some in both, because sometimes you can learn. One thing that I've learned about our industry with insurance is that our industry is usually behind on a lot of up-to-date trends and marketing proficiencies and just different business tactics in general. Our industry is oftentimes behind. And so since our industry is oftentimes behind, sometimes you can go into other industries and learn things that are working currently that our industry won't catch on to for a couple of years. We're in a really old industry. I still believe is 58 or 59. Still. Which is wild to me. When I came in, it was a 59. The average insurance agent when I came into the business was a 59-and-a-half-year-old white guy. And it hasn't changed all that much. It's starting to go down a little bit in terms of the average age demographic. That's because a lot of these guys are aging out and there's new people coming in. But even still, our industry is oftentimes very commonly behind in current trends. So it's not a bad idea to have a mentor that's outside of the industry that you can pick up current modern things that are working. But in terms of, I'm biased. I don't know if I'm the perfect person to answer that. I think I'm a pretty great mentor. I don't mean to toot my own horn. I don't know too many people that have created more successful insurance producers than I have, or helped at least. So I think I'm a great mentor. I put out tons of information, tons of content for you guys, but there's plenty of great people out there. There's plenty of great people out there. So anyway, I don't know. I don't feel super comfortable answering that all the way because I don't want to feel like I'm, forgetting anybody or make somebody that, I don't want to say names and then people are like, why didn't you say me? I don't want to hurt any feelings or anything like that. But I hope that was a thoughtful answer on that. If you guys are just joining the stream, as I said earlier, comment any questions that you have. Again, this is a live Q&A where I am giving up my Friday night for you guys because I appreciate you guys, because I appreciate the Facebook group, the best online community for Medicare agents on the internet, the fastest growing Medicare agent group that we have, which is this one. And again, I haven't done one of these this entire year in 2024. So I'm making a commitment to stay on with you as long as it takes to answer every single question that you guys throw at me in the comments. I will not get off tonight until I've answered every single question. So any questions you have on things you're struggling with in your business, throw them down in the comments and we'll spend some time and unpack them together if you're just new and just joining. All right, so the next question is how to pick a good mentor. Oh, yeah, I guess I guess I just started talking about this. So they're so busy during AEP. Actually, this is a great question, Peter. I know it's similar, but it does make me kind of think of some other. They're so busy during AEP. That is a good question because people always say, I want a mentor who's not busy because they'll have time for me, right? It makes sense. It's logical. I want a mentor that's not busy because if you get a mentor that's not busy, there is two extremes here, right? Is my mentor too busy to help me? Or is my mentor so available that I question their actual success? And both extremes are pretty real. I don't believe you need necessarily all the time that you can call up and talk to on the phone 6 hours a day. I don't think you need that. I think I would rather have a mentor that's busy because I know they're successful, but I'm going to pick and choose my spots with them, right? So like an example is with me, I mentor thousands of agents. Now, do I personally mentor thousands of agents? Of course not. No, I'm only one person. You know, I'm only one guy. You know, I literally physically cannot be all these different places at the same time. I'm not omnipresent. I'm not God or anything like that. You know, I'm only human. So I have my capabilities of being so many places at once. So how do I do it? I do it because I put things out for the masses to be able to put information out that people can learn from and be able to get my mentorship in that way. You know, so I'm not personally doing one-on-one person that I mentor, but I put out information and guidance that allows them to take advantage of my mentorship, if that makes sense. So if you have a mentor that's smart but busy, they will follow you, even if it's a live training, even if it's a live webinar, even if it's a video, anything like that. So that's my thing. You know, like a lot of people that I would consider mentors, I might not personally have a relationship with them, but I've learned a ton from them from afar, like that, you know. So again, like with some people, with some mentors, I don't need to meet you necessarily. I don't need to meet you to get value out of you. Like if I read somebody's book about their life story, what more am I going to learn from them going to lunch? Nothing. They put their entire life story and their entire life's message into that book. I know everything they're about at that point. Now, does it mean I don't have mentors in my life that I have personal relationships with? Of course not. I do have mentors in my life that I have personal relationships with, but it just kind of depends on kind of what you're looking for in that mentor. You know, some of my mentors, I have a personal relationship with them, but we might only speak once or twice a year. I don't need to talk to you every day for you to be my mentor, for me to be able to learn things from you. I could have a 45-minute to an hour conversation with someone once a year that's a mentor of mine, and I could walk away more with that from that 45-minute to an hour conversation that can transform my business in a way that is incredibly impactful, right? So just a couple of thoughts there. You know, I would much rather have a mentor that's busy than somebody that's available to take my call all the time, because if they can take my call all the time, they're just not busy. They're just not busy, and they're probably not someone I want to be learning from in the first place. So just wanted to share some thoughts on that. Okay. Hello, Lisa. What business are you into? What the hell? Are you spamming my chat, good sir?
This video is sponsored by none other than Hire Heroes, you guys. Hire Heroes should be at the top of your list when considering your virtual assistant needs. Let's face it, today, hiring employees and hiring staff for your business is harder than ever and more expensive than it's ever been before. And when you're a new up-and-coming business in particular, or even if you're an established business, sometimes the squeeze of the financials of hiring somebody stateside can be incredibly challenging. What Hire Heroes brings to you is an ability to tap into their best of the best team members that you can plug into your business for very affordable prices. One thing about finding and hiring VAs completely on your own is it can get a little sketchy because you don't always know who you're getting and who's working for you. The great thing also about Hire Heroes is they've gone through and done the work for you of vetting the people that you're going to be working with, and the people that you are assigned are only the best of the best and the shining examples of excellence within the company. So you know you're getting top tier talent, and you don't have to go through any of the time or headache of vetting people and trying out multiple people to get there. There's a link down in the description so you guys can learn more about Hire Heroes and getting help for your business today.
I think you are. I don't think I can do it right here while I'm live, but I'm going to come back later and I'm going to kick you out. Sorry. My friend Justin Thomas Falk. You know some stuff about marketing? Well, maybe a little bit. Actually, can I kick this guy out? He looks like he's spamming a few of your guys' comments. Aha! I can. All right, here we go, guys. We're going to do it. We did it. I didn't even have to wait for the stream to be over. Sorry about that, guys. Joshua Ola is out. Scammer. Been having a lot of new members into the group lately, and we've been seeing some of that. We've been doing our best to police it, but I think we need a couple more moderators, a couple more admins. If you guys see spam in the group, please do me a favor. Instead of it taking a couple of hours for us to see it, because there's so many posts every day in the group organically, because you guys are so awesome, report it to us. We'll see it a lot quicker, and we'll make sure that we kick them out. We want to keep this group and our community clean. How do you feel about inbound leads as a new agent? I think they're great, of course. You know, inbound is always better than outbound. The only problem with that is if you're an independent agent, it's really expensive to make that phone ring. How do you make the phone ring? Let's kind of dissect this a little bit, right? The real way you're going to make the phone ring is very, very strategic and well-placed direct mail campaigns that emphasize them calling you. That's one. TV ads, radio ads, certain types of digital ads, anything like that, but it's going to be very expensive to get the phone to ring. The reason why more agencies than anything else generate lead flow that is outbound is because it's way cheaper to generate and you can do it at scale. It's really tough to make the phones ring. That's why a lot of these call centers, you know, they're publicly traded because they need to gather millions and millions of dollars and tens of millions of dollars in investor money to put into the marketing that it takes to get the phone to ring. So yes, inbound leads are phenomenal. They're just super, super expensive. Like live transfers, for example, they're a fortune. And oftentimes, even if they're well priced, usually what you find with the companies that are offering them is they don't have enough volume to get you more than one or two a week. You know, now there's exceptions, but usually that reigns true long term, and you know they go dry. My clients speak to my assistants, and I have very few resistors. Lisa, you're awesome, and 100%, you are a shining example of that, and duplicating yourself and duplicating your efforts. What's the best way to recruit LOA agents? How would you recruit LOA if you didn't have a large Facebook group? How would I? That's a great question. You know, what I've seen a lot of people do very successfully is they'll post job listings just like they're looking for any type of job applicant. You know, on Indeed, ZipRecruiter, something like that. They'll try to get resumes in, and that would be the way to do it. Now, to actually attract people that have talent, you need to ask yourself, number one, with an LOA agent, what is the value that I'm giving them in exchange versus them going independent? Because I see oftentimes people, you know, they're look for agents to work in their office or, you know, be LOA with their organization, but there's no value proposition, right? There was an agency I saw one time, and this was before the Facebook groups. This was before social media. And they'd pay them like 80% of the street level commission, and they gave them nothing. No leads, no extra training. They just treated them like an independent would be treated by an FMO. You know, you know, we're here if you need us, that kind of thing. And this agency absolutely imploded and collapsed because once the age of information and transparent sharing, like what we're doing tonight, got out, it was clear that they were just pulling a fast one, right? So I'm not saying that's you necessarily, but I'm saying ask yourself, what is it that you're providing that is lucrative for them to LOA for you? For us, like I was talking about our remote LOA role earlier, what are we providing? We're providing staff to help them, systems, processes, leads, technology tools, everything they're going to need. It's a literal plug and play system. They have to do nothing but sell. So ask yourself, what is it that you're looking for? Because even if you actually put your job listing out there, and anytime we're doing a job listing, the ones I've had the most luck with is like local ones are good. If you have any like local web job posting websites, a lot of people go to those. Like in Utah, we have a couple that like KSL, stuff like that. We do great with those. Something like that if you look. LinkedIn jobs is great, Facebook jobs. There's a lot of Facebook groups of people looking for jobs. Those are great to post your job listing in. Indeed isn't bad, although Indeed's probably the worst in terms of quality, but you can get a lot of resumes in bulk, and there can be some diamonds in the rough there. But then once you get the resumes and you start going through the resumes and interviewing people, good value proposition to actually get them to want to work with you in that capacity. So it has to be an equal exchange of benefit for the agent and also the agency working for them. At the same time, you don't want to slice your own throat either. It has to be mutually beneficial. So that's what I would say in terms of that. My pleasure, Dalton. Happy to do it. All right. What's the most effective marketing campaign you have executed? Facebook, direct mail, email, events, or seminars? Facebook, by far. Facebook, by far. Now, here's the thing with Facebook. So many people want to learn Facebook ads, and they can just basically copy an ad and it's going to be ready out of the box. Facebook ads are going to vary based off of who you're targeting, where you are, what you're trying to do, what products you're trying to sell. It's going to your brand, your messaging, what your company's about, everything. So Facebook ads take time to learn, and it takes patience to learn. It takes patience to be able to run an ad, test it out, look at your analytics, test things, be willing to make changes, tinker, tweak. The people that get really good at Facebook ads, that's what this thing is, Facebook ads out of a box. And so at the same time, if someone's not willing to go through that lengthy learning process of learning Facebook ads and do it the right way, it can be extremely expensive for them because they never learn what they're doing because they're impatient. Impatience and marketing don't go well together. They don't. So people need to change their mindset with that. But Facebook, by far, over all of it, although I like diversification too, so I like seminars, I like events, I like email marketing, proper context, although I think it's at an all-time low in terms of effectiveness. But Facebook, by far, if you're willing to go through the process to tinker, test, and learn over time, I'm talking years, to really get it to where you, not like a week or two. So, yeah, hope that answers your question. All right, the next step for me is seminars. I've never been to a seminar, and I've never watched more than snippets I found on YouTube. What's the most thorough way to learn seminars? So, Ricky, if I remember correctly, tell me if I got this right if you're still on, I believe you're contracting with us, aren't you? If you are, and your contracts are far enough along, we can get you into the university. We can get you into Figure Medicare University. We have an entire section dedicated to seminars. There is live trainings that I've done where we actually spell out exactly how we advertise, what we spend, what we look at, how we find a venue, and then there is a live recording of me doing a seminar, presenting a seminar in front of a full jam-packed room of seniors. So that is going to be the best way, by far. Nothing's going to come close. So you're contracting with us now. Let's see where you're at on your contracts, and if you're far enough along, and if you are, we can get you into the university, and then you can get access to all of that. It's basically, everything you're going to need. It answers every single question. We even give you our slide deck, our PowerPoint that's customizable from our seminars. So reach out to me, reach out to Desiree. Let's see where you're at on that. But that Figure Medicare University all the way. Figure Medicare University every single time. Okay. Instead of face-to-face seminars in multiple states. Yes, you can, Ray. They call those webinars. Webinars are going to come down to marketing. I'll share some kind of insight in my opinion, because I've ran webinars. We've done them successfully. We're actually doing them now in a multitude of different ways in our business. And there's a couple things. One, your ad has to be proficient. Your messaging, addressing the pain points, the hook, I call it, in the ad, the call to action to get them into your funnel, or your landing pages is another word for it. Your landing page has to be built out very specifically and very intentionally for it to actually be effective. There's a psychology to it. I could go for an hour on that. If you have any specific questions for me about webinars, drop them in the comments. I'm happy to answer them. But your ad is very important because it gets people into the funnel of your webinar, but your webinar and your funnel itself is actually going to be the most important part, because it's actually going to be responsible for converting the traffic on that. So you can do it, but yes, you have to do the best way to do it on a big time basis is through webinars and through running ads with it. If you guys are new on here, drop your questions on anything you're struggling with in your business down in the comment section. I will be answering every single question that you guys drop. Any way I can kind of help you guys out with your business, I'm going to do it, no matter what. That's what this stream's all about. I'm giving up my Friday night for you guys. So appreciate you guys being on. Where can I find guidelines stating what a non-licensed individual can say and do? Yeah, I mean, that's the tricky thing. Like most compliance things, it's going to depend on who you ask. Multiple carriers are going to have different interpretations. So you can ask one carrier one thing, and you can ask another carrier's compliance department the same thing, and you might get two different answers entirely. The best way I would say is most FMOs have a pretty buttoned up compliance department, any good one anyway. For us, we don't have an internal compliance department, but we work with Integrity as an integrity partner, so we can run it up through them. So the best thing I would tell you is run it up through, make a list of anything you'd want the unlicensed person to do for your FMO's compliance department, and they can probably come back and be like, okay, this is okay, this is okay, this is not okay, this is not okay, this is okay. There are some things that are universal, right? Like some things on the compliance side are completely universal. Like for example, an unlicensed person cannot write someone's application and enroll them. That's a no-no, right? That's obvious. Everybody can agree with that. But some areas that are gray areas, you're going to get disagreement. So the best thing you can do is run it up through your FMO. And the best thing I would do is not just ask them for a list necessarily, because that's just a vague question. When we get questions like that, it's very difficult for us to answer them. The best thing you can do is be like, hey, I've been thinking of some tasks I want one of my unlicensed employees to do. Here's a list of things. Can you go through these and see if these are all compliant? And run it up through your FMO. You're going to get a much better, more thorough answer doing it that way, in my opinion, instead of just throwing some vague question against the wall and seeing what sticks. So hope that helps, Lisa. What's the best way to get new clients during AEP? I'm a newer agent. What's the best way? We talked about that quite a bit already on the stream, but I was going to say Justin Thomas Folk is going to stay on asking questions until 2 a.m. Bring it, dude. Bring it. Just don't ask me silly questions. I know you. That's what you'll do. Sorry, Annette. Let me get back to your question. What's the best way to get new clients during AEP? I'm a newer agent. So for a newer agent, the best way is probably not going to be realistic for you, because the best way is to generate your own leads through very high-level marketing tactics. But if you were on earlier, you probably heard me say that when you're new, the best thing you can do is get as much experience as possible, get in front of as many people as possible, hustle, beat the pavement a little bit, and you don't have enough time to learn all of that and also learn how to do your own marketing and generate your own leads at the same time. You just don't. It's like having 6 full-time jobs at the same time and you're going to school. You know what I mean? There's just not enough. So if I was you and I was brand new, chances are, like I said earlier, if you're a new agent, you probably don't have a lot of capital that you can spend on lead flow or marketing campaigns or anything like that. So I would try to get with as many businesses that will let you come in that have senior related clients, 55 and up communities, elder law, financial planners, credit unions, mom and pop pharmacies, et cetera, and get them to see if you can come in and do Medicare 101s, anything like that. Any way you can get in front of people and do presentations. The more people you can get in front of and do presentations, that's the name of the game. If you do have any money to spend, seminars are great, and you don't have to spend a bunch of money on seminars. You don't necessarily have to do dinner seminars. You can do low-cost, cheap seminars at like senior centers or libraries or anything like that. So I would put any money you can into maybe some seminars, maybe some lead flow, that you can make outbound calls to. And all of those things, the activity is going to be what's going to push you over the top. But it has to be income-producing activity. And it just kind of depends on kind of your budget and kind of what type of budget you're working with. But, I mean, those are just some ideas that I would do if I was brand new and I had nothing, knowing what I know. Best virtual assistant company to use, and what tasks do you give them? Come on, Todd. Is that a serious question? Friendly. I'll be nice about it. Hire Heroes is the best virtual assistant company. By a mile. It's not even close. Hire Heroes. For full disclaimer, I'm a co-owner of Hire Heroes, but there's nobody in the insurance business that does better virtual assistants specifically for insurance agents than Hire Heroes. We use them in my agency. They're great. There's lots of agents that are in this group that use Hire Heroes virtual assistants that have grown their business with virtual assistants. It's terrific. So virtual assistants, Hire Heroes, 100%. Of course, I'm biased again because I co-own Hire Heroes, but I really do believe in the service. We wouldn't have merged our company together with Hire Heroes, and we have 5 companies, by the way, for those of you that don't know. We have 5 companies. We have the insurance agency, which is a monster, which is a 7-figure company by itself. We have Lead Heroes. We have Hire Heroes. We have 7-Figure Medicare Summit LLC. We have 7-Figure Medicare Training LLC. We have so many companies. And Hire Heroes is one of my companies that I co-own with Glenn Shelton. So of course Hire Heroes is who I'd recommend for virtual assistants. I think we do a tremendous job. And I was a customer of Hire Heroes before we merged with them. So definitely Hire Heroes. I'm concerned about all of the Part D changes for next year. What system can you use to gather info for existing members' meds now and run them October 1st? I presently use Sunfire and Agency Block. 100% RetireFlow. RetireFlow was created specifically for that purpose. And if you're not familiar with RetireFlow, my friend Dalton Miller actually put it together. I think he was on here at some point. I don't know if he's still watching. But RetireFlow is essentially a form that essentially has dosages and actual prescriptions that actually pre-populate if someone starts typing them in. It's the best way to gather information. It has scope of appointment capabilities, permission to contact capabilities. It is 100% what I'd recommend in that situation. It will make it a lot easier. RetireFlow. I had a colleague ask me and asked my mentor, who is getting back to me on this, can we use RetireFlow to send a PTC link to cold lead lists? Probably as a question for Dalton Miller, but I'll give you what my thoughts off the get-go would be. So how are you sending it to these people? Are you sending it through email? Technically speaking, if you want to go down into the letter of the law, a lot of times in emails and you don't have any type of PTC, that can be where things get kind of dangerous. Now, if you're running ads and you're pushing people to, let's say, a form and you're collecting their information, let's say it goes into a Go High Level, and then through automations you're sending them RetireFlow links and things like that, that's probably fine. But it's probably pushing it if you're just basically mass emailing tons of people like cold. It kind of gets on the fence there of permission to contact rules. So that would be my thought right off the bat. I'm no compliance Nazi, no compliance officer, but that's my first thought. Do you prefer a new LOA agent to be currently licensed or new to the industry? I would prefer they be new to the industry, and I'll tell you why. I prefer they be new to the industry, and I've worked with LOAs in both capacities. What I've found is more often than not, if they're currently licensed, they have bounced around a lot, and they've picked up bad habits, and they just have such a hard time letting those bad habits go. I've had plenty of instances where we've had somebody where they're like, I'm teaching them how to do something, and they're like, well, when I was over here, we did it this way. And I'm like, I don't give a shit what they did over there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. You're not there now. How'd it work out for you? You're not there now. You know what I mean? Somebody in that's newly licensed, they're so green, they're a blank slate, and you can really teach them the way you business, and that you can essentially, almost raise them. You know what I mean? It's almost like a kid that is 12 or 13 years old, and you come in as a stepdad, and they were spoiled rotten, versus a kid that you raise from the time they're 0. You can raise them right. So that's the analogy I'd use. I'd always prefer people that are new to the industry. Now, it doesn't mean in our current new LOA role we're not taking some people that are already currently licensed, but we're trying to vet them best we can. But if I had my pick, I take people that are new to the industry. I am in first year of Medicare, AC/ACA agent doing all grassroots marketing through Zoom webinars, etc. I am not making enough sales fast enough. Can I work as an LOA phone agent and combine a grassroots approach, or would phone sales be more lucrative as a new agent with limited funds? Thank you. So Lisa, the answer to that question would ultimately come down to who you're being LOA for. Now, if you were being LOA for me, we have a system and a structure that we would place you into, and we don't want you being distracted by focusing on other things that aren't working now, right? Like if the things you're doing were great, they'd be working now. That's what I would tell you if you were LOA for me and you didn't what we wanted you to do, right? I'm just kind of playing devil's advocate a little bit. And so, ultimately, it would depend on who you're essentially becoming LOA for. Some people might have LOA positions where like they're much more flexible and they'll kind of let you do your own thing a little bit. Others might want you to do exactly what they want you to do. They want you to work the leads that they're giving you. They want you to do the sales process that they're giving you. They want you to sell the products they're wanting you to sell. It's going to depend ultimately on who you're becoming LOA to, and there's a million different types of LOA roles out there. There's no exact answer on that. Hope that helps and hope that makes sense. Yeah, Ricky, reach out to us and see where you're at on your contract. We usually automatically give you Figure Medicare University once your contracts are done with the Premier Agent contracts. There's 7 of those. But if you're not sure on where you're at, reach out. We can kind of check it. And if you are there, we can kind of get you in. We can get you a login. All right. My internet may have froze since asking my question. I apologize if you already answered this. We're ramping up for seminars for the upcoming AEP and looking at using leading response. Do you recommend their full service package or only use them for mailing out flyers? So I guess I'm not super familiar with their full service package. I'm kind of coming at a loss for that. What we've used with them before, and we love our friends over at Leading Response, they do such a great job, is we'll pay for them to advertise individual seminars, and then we'll pay usually a little bit of extra money for them to advertise them on Facebook and social media, and they'll capture the RSVPs. I believe that they give you discounts if you order in bulk, so if you're going to do work with them for a long period of time, you probably are in your best interest to probably do it that way. But yeah, for us in the past when we've worked with them on seminars, that's kind of how we've done it. But they might have new programs or new suggestions on the best way to do it. Sorry if that answer's a little vague, Matt. I want to give the best answer possible on that. All right, I got to get back to launching my new funnel. Going to be an all-nighter. The real ones work Friday nights. Amen to that. My brother and my friend Justin Thomas Falk. Send it to me so I can copy it. No, just kidding. Just kidding. Best way to get referrals from financial planners and PNC agents. Should we pay them referral fees? Yeah, I love this question, Ray. This is great. Guys, keep them coming. Keep them coming. As I mentioned, I will keep on this stream all night if I have to make sure I answered your guys' questions. So I have had a lot of success with financial planners in my career, getting referrals from. In fact, I've had more success getting referrals from financial planners than anybody except for other agents and Medicare agents. And primarily that's just because of the group. A lot of you guys know that we're licensed in 45 states. You'll refer people to us and things like that. But that's not going to be the case for the majority of you. Not all of you are as much of a public figure as me. This is the pitch for them. One thing you always have to focus on when you're trying to get somebody to be a referral partner with you is what is in it for them. Ask yourself that question right now. If there's this particular demographic of person that you want to go after to build referral partners and build a network of referral relationships with, ask yourself this. What's in it for them? Too often, agents focus on what's in it for you when you're approaching them. They'll walk into a financial planner's office and they'll be like, hey, my name's Little Billy, and I do Medicare, and you can send me your referrals if you want to, and I'll take good care of them. I promise I'll be a good boy. I promise I'll be a really good boy. Their pitches never actually concentrate and center focus on what is in it for them. What is in it for them? And think about financial planners. What is in it for them? What's the pain point that you can alleviate? So for financial planners that don't do Medicare, what is their biggest fear when it comes to Medicare? It's not that they're missing out on that Medicare money. My experience has been most of them actually look at it as chump change. They really do. What is it to them to make $200, $300, $400 a year, $600 a year in commissions on a Medicare sale when they can do a security or an annuity and make $10K or $20K or $40K? right? Like to them, they look at it as chump change. So it's not the compensation they're leaving on the table, but it's protecting their business. Other people that are financial planners that are there contemplating Medicare to get their foot in the door with their clients on a day-to-day basis. There's a lot of financial planners that use Medicare. They'll go in, they'll write the Medicare app, they'll get that sale, and then they'll come back later and they'll replace any annuity or financial planning product that that person might have in the house. So by not having a solution to get the Medicare handled for their clients and their book of business, they're leaving themselves exposed to get their own products flipped out by a financial planner that does have that. So what you can do, and the pitch that you can give to a financial planner is, hey, listen, you don't do Medicare. I understand that. I do. I don't do what you do. This only works if you don't do financial planning, by the way, this pitch. We do not. I don't do what you do. You don't do what I do. But your competitors out there every day are using Medicare to get their foot in the door as a way to be able to use that to get them in their book of business and then come back down the road and replace the product that you have on that client. Whether it be annuity, whether it be a security, any other type of product that you might offer, they're using Medicare as a way to get in the door with your client. So by not securing that, you are leaving your book of business exposed. Now, most financial planners do not want to go through all the strenuous time that it takes to learn Medicare. It's very complicated. You don't have to. You can work with me. I am an honest, trustworthy person. I will never do you wrong. I will refer your clients back to you for what you do. I will send referrals to you as well. I will pay you a referral fee if you want me to. I'll pay a $100 referral fee for each client if you want me to. We actually do, unless they specifically tell us not to. Some financial planners just really don't care. Other financial planners, they actually do care, and they're like, oh yeah, I'll take it. We've had one financial planner refer us over 100 new clients in a given year a couple of different times. One guy. And we pay the referral fee, and that's a big part of it. Part of it that is the real tipping point that will really move the needle is protecting their business. So if they get the Medicare handled by referring it off to you, the other agents, that other financial planners are not going to be able to come in and get their foot in the door with the Medicare product. They're securing their home base. So that's the pitch. For PNC agents, you could do something very similar, but you could also tell them, that they're leaving a lot of money on the table. They might be a little bit more interested in the referral fee than anything else than the financial planners. My pleasure, Ray. By the way, I hope that answer was helpful for you. Hope that was kind of what you were looking for. Would you pay a company that guarantees seminar attendance rates for dinners, face-to-face? I really want to do business in 4 or 5 states. I don't to do face-to-face. So I guess the question to that, the follow-up would be, what were they charging, right? Like they're guaranteeing me things. What is their guarantee? What happens if they miss their guarantee? Do I get all my money back? What are the terms? Need a little bit more information on that one. This is awesome, guys. Okay. If I partnered with financial advisors and PNC agents, when they meet with their clients, can they assist them with completing the retired flow PTC and scope of appointment? Sure, they could. But, an unlicensed person can even complete PTCs and scope of appointments. Most people don't know that. But that's going to be a really hard thing to pitch the financial planner on. Like, you want to make it as easy and painless of a process for them as possible. So if I was a financial planner and send my clients to you and you're trying to put me to work, I'd be like, get out of here. So I wouldn't think that'd be a good strategy. Probably any financial planner that's worth their salt would be like, you want me to do what again? You want me to do your job, basically. So yes, they could theoretically. Should you ask them to do that? I would say not. Let's see, Matt. No worries. Thank you. They now will do everything from finding the best venue to have the event, finding attendees, marketing the event, sending flyers. Nice. That's new from when we worked with them, at least as far as I know, on Lead and Response. I think they're great. We've had nothing but good experience with them, so I love them. Love Lead and Response. Thanks, Ray. Appreciate that. The end? I think we got to the end, ladies and gentlemen. Love it. So we got to about an hour and 15 minutes. I hope you guys found value in this. I love doing these. If you guys like this type of content and this is bringing value to you, I am more than happy to do another one before AEP if you guys would like. Of course, for me, the time investment of my time is really, really important. So I need to know that this has interest from you guys. So if you guys express interest to me that you want me to do something, I oftentimes will do it. If you express interest. So if you guys are watching this now, or if you got value out of this, or you're watching, the replay and you'd like me to do more of these, please let me know in the comments. And at the end of the day, you guys drive the bus on kind of what happens in this group. I'll answer a couple more questions that come in right now, but then I'm going to call it quits. Guarantee 20 attendees or keep mailing till you get at least 20 attendees. So what are they charging? That'd be my question. What are they charging for that? I got about 10 to 15 questions. Let's go, Jimmy. Let's go. I probably won't stay on to answer them all because I did get to the end. I fulfilled my promise. Thank you so much. It was very informative. Thanks, Lisa. Appreciate that. I'll answer a couple more questions, guys. Just a few more. I have a group of well over 150 locations with over 10K employees that wants to refer all their clients to me. Awesome. But they want me to fill out the PTC for their clients. That's not against any regulations or compliance? No, it's not. You're good. My pleasure, guys. My pleasure. 1,000 to 1,500. So if they're going to guarantee you 20 attendees, but then again, it's not in-person attendees, right? So virtual attendees are less valuable than in-person attendees, in my opinion, because virtual attendees, that's easier for them to fall off. It's harder for a physical attendee in a seminar to get up and walk out, right? So it's not a horrible price. I don't think it's, and so it's a webinar. Am I getting that right, Ray? That's a webinar that they're advertising through mail? That's weird. Usually webinars are going to be best. Oh, they're in person. Okay. I think that's a pretty good deal then. I think that's a pretty good deal. If they're guaranteeing it and they make sure that the seminar has that and it's only for $1,000 per seminar, it's not too bad, I think. If they actually follow through. A lot of people make promises. So it just depends. I've seen a lot of people make a lot of big promises, big hype and everything like that. So yeah, it's hard to say for sure. I don't think that's terrible. Love it, guys. So much for being the best Facebook group on the internet. I love the community. I love each and every one of you guys. You guys are awesome. It's so much fun for me to get to see you guys grow. For those of you that are new agents and you're new attendees to the group, we've gotten a ton lately. We've gotten, I believe, like 250 new members this week. Love seeing that. Welcome. Hope you guys are getting value out of the group. Make sure to follow the rules or we'll kick your ass out. And thank you guys for being here. Hope you got value. And if you guys want to see more of these, please be sure to let me know. If you're on Team Replay, you made it all the way to the end, please comment #Team Replay. Love to see kind of which people actually go through and watch the replay. We'll see you guys on the next one. Have a great weekend. Happy Friday night. And we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.